And Agile is a really, really interesting place at the moment because it seems to have got really, really polarized. From something that was a group of people getting together at a ski resort say, let's think of creative ways and new ways of making things faster and better and more agile. It seems to have got more and more polarized. And it's got polarized into kind of two views of the world. What are they? Every single project is either Agile or waterfall. Yes, this is how the Agile guys like to imagine themselves. They are 63 miles an hour, we're powering through, right up until they get to do some process documentation. And it's like, I'm bored now, I'm done. I've had my rush, I've done my sprint, I'm finished. Yeah, and everything that doesn't adhere to this panacea model of whatever we think Agile is waterfall. And waterfall is apparently terrible. Although you look at this and think, that's not too bad. Quite like being there, that'd be quite pleasant, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's not a bad place, not a bad place at all. So it's interesting, we've got this kind of polarized view of what things should be like. Now, why do we do this? Why do we polarize things down? This is what polarization actually is. You have glasses. Has anyone got polarizing glasses? They're quite nice in the summer. Certainly when you're by the pool, you've got all those reflections, and you put the polarizing glasses on. No reflections. It's lovely. I can see clearly. What it does, it takes all the light that's going in all different directions, runs it through a filter, so the light is kind of going the same way. I'm a bit nervous because there was a guy I spoke to outside earlier who actually does make lenses for glasses. I can't see him right now, but there was one somewhere. So I was a bit nervous about being corrected on this one, but I don't think he's in this session, so I've got away with it. So this was the idea of polarization of things. And it's something that makes sense. We try and simplify things and abstract them as best we can so people can understand them. The only problem is when we do simplify things down, we define these little systems that we have, like maybe Scrum or things like that. We create this world, and we end up with this kind of sort of very, very flat view of the world. We've got this world that is ours, everything works within it, and we're quite happy in this world. And it makes sense, right? We often abstract things down. If we literally think flat world, right? I live in London. I know deep down inside myself that the world is round, that I am standing on a globe. I get that. I understand that. I'm not disputing that at all. Don't get me wrong. However, in my day-to-day life, I am acting as if it's effectively flat. Yeah? I'm just treated, I walk around, I don't think that I'm on a curve because I don't need to. If I'm looking across my garden, I tend to think it's flat. I don't think about a slight curvature because I don't need to. It's so big, it's nothing I need to worry about. I've extracted my thinking down, and I'm thinking that when I walk from A to B, it's largely flat. And that makes sense. It's an easier way of conceiving things and conceptualizing things than trying to think about the fact that I'm balancing on a globe. And it's the same thing that we do with Agile methods, with project methods and all these things. We simplify it down to a way of working. And when you look at it through that lens, it's quite easy to then understand how all of these teams tend to end up viewing the PMO as this policing function because they're only focused on their own little flat earth and they don't think about the things outside of that flat earth necessarily. So we're the ones there on the edge. And the only benefit, the only thing they see us doing is telling them off for doing things wrong. Whereas actually what we know, I hope we know, is that the reason we are guiding, supporting them and making sure we're following governance is actually for the good of the wider system of the organization. It is very easy to get a project done fast. If it's small enough and simple enough, and you can skip all the governance and all the controls and everything like that, you can get it done very, very quickly. But you may well be increasing a lot of risk for the organization. You may well suddenly find organizational problems if you've got a Sarbanes-Oxley company where you suddenly have to evidence every single bit of CapEx and you haven't done that due diligence around it. You might run into problems if you work in the rail industry and safety is king and you've not got the necessary certifications. It's very, very easy to be quick, but you need the controls around it for the safety of the organization. And that's where the PMO is coming in on the edges of our flat earth and being seen as this policing function, even though what we're actually doing is the same as our Agile people, trying to make it faster to get stuff delivered.